Hello and welcome to Spotlight. I'm Lindy Beatie, and today we have an exciting guest for you. Somebody that you wouldn't even know lived here, but she does for a long time as well. Her name is Karen Leigh Sharp. She's an actress and she's also a director, but we'll learn a lot about her in the next few moments. Welcome, Karen.
Hello, Lindy.
How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for having me.
Good. Oh, we are so excited to have you here, honestly. I mean, I think one of the things that people don't understand is all the different types of people that have moved here over the many, many years. You know, they would think it's maybe all loggers or all miners or whatever, but there's a lot of artistic people in here. Tell us a little bit about your journey here to the Nevada County.
Well, I came here in 1987, and my aunt had a dinner theater called York Street Blues.
I love it.
And I brought some LA actors here from LA, and we came for the summer, and I stayed. I never left.
Voila.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And in the meantime, I started teaching acting classes, and Tim O'Connor, who you may remember, dearly beloved, beautiful man, said, Karen, you should be teaching, because I studied with Daryl Hickman in LA, and Daryl acted with Spencer Tracy, Clark Gable, Katharine Hepburn. He was the golden era of Hollywood.
So wonderful.
That's who I trained with. So I said, that's a great idea, Tim. So I started teaching, and then had a couple of kids and a couple of husbands, and
yes, okay.
And,
a lot of us, yeah.
And then went and got my teaching credential, had a theater program. We had a theater company for a while. We did kind of edgy things. Won an Ellie Award for Best Actress with that. And then raised the kids, and life just took over. They were raised, and then I decided, you know what, I'm going to start re-pursuing my film career.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So that must have been interesting to kind of be involved in the Hollywood scene and then pull back. How did that feel when you did that? I mean, and Nevada County isn't exactly like, you know, the valley. You know, you didn't just move to the San Fernando Valley. You moved way the heck up here. So how did that feel?
You know, I think it was...
Looking back.
Yeah, looking back, because I was 30 when I got here, basically. And it's just time to have that family and settle down. And that felt very right.
Good.
And, but, you know, I was still doing plays, and I've worked with Off Broad Street, Foothill Theater Company, Sierra Stages, you know.
So you still had that. You were still acting. You had still that performing art in you.
Yeah, and it's not as cutthroat and crazy. So you know, you could come and do your art. And in LA, I did a under 5 for General Hospital, and a lot of like 99-seat equity theater. So I came here and just segued and kept doing theater, but it was fine.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
I love it. So you got a little bit of everything then.
Yeah, you know, I think it's a competitive world out there, and you don't want to, as an actor, you don't want to let go of your soul and get beat up too hard. So you got to keep doing your craft where you can.
So do you think here was the place that you kind of that kept that energy with you?
Oh yeah.
My goodness. And tell me a little bit about the sense of up here with artists. I mean, because we have a lot of artists. I'm not sure people realize that at times.
Yeah.
I mean, we have performing artists, we have singers, we have painters, we have sculptors. Tell me a little bit about why you think they come here.
Well, it's a great question. I think artists are aesthetic, and we love beauty, and Nevada County couldn't be more gorgeous. And a lot of us, like Sands Hall is a friend, and we've talked about this. What brought us here? Not just aesthetics and being able to do our art, but think about the gold veins that are running under the ground here, and the power in the minerals. And this Yuba River is a sacred treasure. For me, I swim in it every year. We bring our friends, and it's healing. So I think it's just a lot of elements that nourish your artist soul versus like in LA or in traffic jams. It's cutthroat. It's really, really tough. Great, but hard.
Yeah.
And so I think you can keep nourishing yourself here as an artist.
So you don't miss that connection, because even though there are artists here that you're connected with, sometimes if you're, say, a sculptor and you want to move your art out into a greater venue. Is there still opportunities to do that here?
Another great question.
Okay.
So I think, what's happened in technology, like for me as an actor, I do self-tapes. So the way I got cast in Twisted was this gal's from Denmark, Danish,
Oh my
the
gosh.
director. She put out a national search.
Oh my gosh.
So I submitted my self-tape, went through about 4 more interviews and different meetings with her. It was grueling. And you can do that now. You don't have to be in LA.
You know what?
Yeah.
That is such a good point, because I think that that's the thing that those of us that are in that up over certain category, the younger
right
people
there with
nowadays,
Yeah,
I'm so
right
glad.
there with you.
I think the younger people understand that. That they can do that. They can live anywhere. I think with the COVID shutdown, that really
yes,
proved
it proved it.
But I think sometimes you think of artists as needing to show things in person, but that's not necessarily so.
I mean, I don't get to compete like I would like to, because I am so far away, But the cool thing is I can submit the tape. I just got a call back on something, didn't get it. Got cast in something up in in Vancouver after Twisted, got the part. And he said he'd give me a body double because there was a sex scene. And I said, cool. So, and then he reneged. And then I turned the part down, because I'm like, I'm 60 years old. I don't want to be a little plus.
Not something that we want to do right now.
Well, if it's tasteful and it's done right, and sure, you can do your art in a beautiful way.
Absolutely.
Without feeling too much like you're too,
Exposed.
Yeah.
So tell me, what is it about the performing arts that you enjoy? What struck
It's
your
my
heart?
soul, and it's my church. And I think when you start doing this at a young age, it sparks something inside you that other things in life don't spark you like that. And it's so healthy for you if you're doing it for the right reasons versus ego.
Yeah.
And acting, to me, I mean, you're not a musician playing an instrument. You have your paintbrush because you're painting your canvas.
Yes.
And if you're going in, you get to use your soul if you're an honest actor. If you're faking it, a lot of people say, oh, you're acting, but I don't like that, because you're not acting if you're really being.
Right.
And so
If this is you,
that's
if you captured that character.
film.
Right? Yeah.
And so my mentor, Daryl, taught me, this is like my favorite takeaway as an actor, is you do not become the character. You often hear actors say, oh, I became the character.
Or I had to live as the character before I went on stage.
It's the opposite in my training. You invite this character into your vessel. This is the art. This is the life. It's my history. It's what my experiences are that I have to bring and tap to the character. So my character in Twisted, who was pretty messed up, I had to invite her in. And then I had to remember, like, my own mother, who was quite damaged. And I had to find her nuances, and then I had to make them as honest as possible. And that's the cool.
That's the
the
cool your experiences
thing of acting. Yeah.
So we've talked about, alluded to Twisted. Let's talk about that a little bit. So tell me about Twisted.
So Twisted is a psychological thriller shot here in Nevada County.
I love it.
So our
Do
director.
people know that?
Well, we had a big screening at the Del Oro, and there were 350 people there that showed up.
But even now, do you think?
I put it on. I put it out there. We just gotta, it's like anything with so much information.
I didn't mean to divert, but
yeah.
I mean,
So
it's really
I got cast, and then I said to her, I used to location scout. You want to bring it to Nevada County instead of Auburn, because I know. I'm a retired teacher, so Terry McAteer picked up the phone, called Chief Royal or Sheriff Royal, got me 2 sheriff cars.
Yep.
Guy at Ben Franklin's, Karen, bring him in. I had a doctor's office. We had this 16-to-1 mine.
Oh my gosh.
A beautiful historic downtown house in downtown Nevada City. So she was able to bring the production value up from here to here.
Was she surprised?
Because she used, totally blown away. Because we had our local community who loves the arts.
Yeah.
They support our artists.
They do.
They do.
They
Oh,
really
God,
do.
they do. Yeah, so we're blessed.
Okay, so here you are with Twisted. What character did you play?
So I'm Silvia, and my daughter is starting to hang out with some undesirables and a hunting club. And you get thrown into their family dynamic and their secrets that are happening here in the forest. And it's a very intriguing psychological thriller that twists every turn you go with this mother-daughter duo. And it just keeps twisting. Did he say anything?
No.
I think we need to leave this place. I can get work anywhere. Anywhere in the world, actually. Go ahead, eat your cookie, sweetie. I have to go to work, and I'll be back in an hour or so. And it doesn't stop.
Now, you directed before.
No, I produced
before. Is there some things that you that you wanted to change as you were progressing on this path with the film?
It's a great question. I have directed theater. I have not directed film. She and I worked tandem. She was awesome because she wrote it, the director from Denmark.
Was it a book or was it a
No, it's her
script?
screenplay, Vibeke Mwasya, and this was her third feature film.
Oh, wow.
And she and I kept working the script, which was the beauty of.
So she allowed you to do that.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
great. That's
yeah.
good.
I mean, she knew what she wanted, but
Right.
I kept saying, I got to fight for this character. Why is she so messed up with this relationship with her daughter? What's going on? So we kept finding the backstory, which is critical to caring about why you want to watch these people.
Right.
And it's a crazy backstory.
So did it take lots of different turns from when you started?
Yes.
Really? Can
Yes.
you talk a little bit about
Yes. Yes. So we shot it before COVID in 2018.
that? Wow.
And then we ran out of money because these things aren't cheap.
No.
So we had to raise more money. In the meantime, COVID comes along and kind of flattens everything out. But so that gave us time, though, to keep thinking, because she rescreened it in Denmark with this young group of filmmakers, and they said, this isn't there yet. It's not there. It's a story. It works. It's fine, but it's not done. So we started brainstorming. So during COVID, because we were all home, and we came up with more that was so rich and so cool and so dark.
So if COVID had, so here we go, supposing that that had not happened, have you ever thought about that? That's interesting because you were kind of sequestered, so you had to have something else to do with this film.
Yeah, I just think when that project wasn't done, so it just gave us some breathing room. So everybody came back during COVID, and we all tested, we wore our masks on the set, we followed all the protocols, and then we had a little extra time, then we raised more money, and then now we have been released on Amazon Prime. I know, and we're in.
Did you get that, everybody? Amazon Prime. Okay.
Just type in Twisted Movie 2022.
There you go. Okay.
And because there's a couple other Twisteds.
Yeah,
2022.
2022. Got it.
Did you get
got
that?
It. Yeah.
Okay. Good. So, it's been thrilling. It's been a wonderful, wonderful project, and hard and rewarding. And we're winning film festivals around the world. Paris. Sweden, Chicago. We just
And you're here.
and I'm
in
here,
Nevada County.
and I live right here,
Isn't
and I
that
love living right here.
wonderful?
It is.
What about the
wonderful.
people that you brought in?
Okay,
to
that's
this
a good
county?
question.
Yes.
Yes.
It's like had they even heard of Nevada County?
Well,
They thought it was in Nevada.
the actors we had kind of from all over the country, but Val Camp is a local
right,
DP,
yeah.
and Ramona brought us Val,
Good,
and that was
good.
awesome. And he's amazing. So he shot this beautiful Nevada County dark psychological thriller with a cool undertone. Allison Clancy is a local raised girl, lives in New York, dances for the Metropolitan Opera House. She's a dancer. Her music's in it. And she gave it to us for a bargain because we're locals.
Yeah.
And who? Oh, and Cayman Hodges. It was Val's first camera.
Oh my gosh.
And Tara Kelly, who's done some editing here
Around
at
here,
Nevada County Media. Wonderful, committed gal. And then we used one actor from the area, and then one from Sacramento. Some came in from North Dakota.
Oh, wow.
We have my daughters from Louisiana.
Oh my gosh.
Or you could say Louisiana.
Louisiana. Yeah.
And so we were from all over the place.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How
But
wonderful.
we have a gold mine here with love for the arts.
We
Yeah,
do.
we do.
Talk to me a little bit about the people that you work with here in Nevada County. And I know we touched on it a little bit about that it's such a beautiful place to be and it's such a, renews your soul.
Yeah.
But what else do you find that they say? Why do they stay? What, did they come for a reason? Did they stay for a reason?
I think people like to live in peace, not chaos. And LA and Hollywood there's such a superficiality with all that. New York is another story. I mean, who doesn't want to go work with some New York actors on Broadway? But I think we have very good artists here, so you don't feel deprived, and you can kind of be a big fish in a small pond, which is not. I don't mean that in a derogatory way. It's just, it's like, why not? If you can do your art, do it where you can.
And what opportunities do you think are here for students that? What kind of advice would you give them about all the arts?
Yeah.
Since you really you know a wide variety of people here in all the arts. What kind of
I was a
advice would you
teacher
give
in
them?
the schools with a drama program, and the one thing I would always encourage my students is just go do your art. Quit thinking I'm going to make it. Don't go there, because then you're not doing your art.
Yeah.
You're doing it for the wrong reasons. And so this county is so good to its young kids and students, like this whole facility. So go do your art, become, study your craft. And when you study your craft, you do your art. But if you're going, I want to make money, or I did this, I would hear kids, well, I was in that play. And I'm like, oh, that's very cool. That's super cool. But do your art from your soul and kindness and not your ego.
Because we have a lot of very fabulous dance programs as well at the high school.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that a couple of students that have gone through Courtney's programs and then have gone on to really wonderful things.
Oh,
and
God. Well, Allison Clancy
There,
was
see?
in
Yeah.
Yolana Holt's dance program, and Yolana Holt was a pro who kicked their you-know-what, and those kids trained.
Yeah.
And she was rough, but they trained and they got trained.
Yeah.
And you either cut it or you didn't. And I would do K-8 plays, and I mean, I wasn't mean or rough, but I drove them to excel. Versus, I'm in a play and I'm great. I'm waiting for applause. Don't do it for that.
Yeah.
Do it because your little soul is saying, I got to do this.
And did you see some
my
performances?
God, yes.
Do you have a recollection of anyone in particular? I mean, we don't.
I
need to
have
name,
a couple
but,
of wonderful
But some of those examples
kids
that they really, you kind of went, what?
Yeah, you can see which kids just have it.
Yeah.
And which mothers want their kids to have it.
Kind of like soccer moms, right?
Yeah. There's just kids that have it, and then there's kids that work really hard and find it. And I think it's a whole mixed bag. And then there's kids who just are there to have fun and do it, and that's what it's about,
It's okay.
Yeah.
And that's good too.
But
And what about your kids?
my girls were dancers.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And so my youngest loves to sing, and my oldest was a real focused dancer, but she's gone into the corporate America field.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, I know. She wanted to make money, not like an artist.
So if you were going back to talking about to students about making money, you say do your craft, but there is a component of that whether it comes from them or from their parents or somebody else, saying, yeah, you know, you got to make money. I had a cousin who was a great horseback rider, right? And we wanted her all to go to the Olympics. And my uncle was like, yeah, but you're never going to make any money doing that. So how does that...
Have a day job, do your craft.
Okay, good.
And then who knows what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, a starving artist, I've been there, it's not fun.
No.
It doesn't feel good.
No. It's too stressful,
and
too.
it's hard on your self-esteem. And so I would say do your craft, night classes, weekends, whatever. Do it.
Would you recommend taking classes?
Oh, absolutely.
And what's the benefit of that exactly?
Well, because you're getting technique.
Good.
So
Okay.
once you
Great.
get technique,
Perfect.
then you can fly. But if you don't know how to have your technique, how do you fly? You know, a pilot doesn't just get in a plane and fly it.
Right.
He's got to know the instruments. He's got to know how it works.
And how did you get into this? How did you get into
this
it?
is a great question.
Who helped you with that?
Well, and that's the thing. I was 6 years old.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
I just always wanted to do this. And I went to, my mother put me in this YMCA after school program, and I played a queen.
Of course.
And I remember laughing hysterically, exposing my anger, being funny. And I felt all of these emotions just come out of me all at once, happy, angry, sad, and I was hooked. The drug grabbed me because it was my form of, oh, okay, this is how I can express myself. This is very healthy. I didn't know that at that time.
Yeah.
But that, and so I've acted ever since.
Oh my gosh. And anything else in the past that you'd like to talk a little bit about the acting jobs that you've had in the past that were kind of fun? That people maybe would recognize?
Well, I mean, I think the theater training I had,
Yes, it's so
Blanche
great.
Dubois is one of my all-time favorite roles, and she's, talk about a tragic character. I like those tragic
you?
ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I like the soul, the depth of it. I don't like fluff, even though fluff's fun. I will do fluff. And,
Darling!
and I've done off Broad Street stuff, and it's fluffy and it's a blast. And I love Jan and John over there. There's this great program. And it's fluffy blast stuff, but I prefer the heavy-duty intensity of authenticity, because that's who we are as human beings. I mean, life isn't just cute and fun and fluffy.
We're real complicated.
We're complicated.
Yeah, we're complicated.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of good.
It
in a
makes
way.
us human.
Yeah.
We're
yeah.
humans and we're flawed.
Yeah.
And but we have to have kindness, and we have to look out for each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Karen, is there anything else you'd like to tell us about your exciting career? I'm just so excited, and I've never met you, and I'm so excited that Ramona brought you here to this, because
sweet.
you know, these are the types of things I think that Spotlight is about, is people that other people know that you say, really, they live here?
Yeah.
They did this? Oh my gosh.
And that's a good point. We talked on the phone yesterday, like Alistair Fraser travels the world. He's a world-renowned fiddle player.
Absolutely.
Gary Snyder lives in the backwoods out in North San Juan, and he's, you know, from the Jack Kerouac group of guys out there
Yes.
writing that poetry and changing, you know, society in terms of feelings and really getting truthful instead of, we came out of a fluffy generation of,
Well, after the war, I think after the
Exactly.
World War II and the Korea War, everybody just wanted to be normal, quote unquote, whatever normal was, right?
And what we've been able to see for women in our lifetime, and we still need to do a lot, but it's astounding and exciting and wonderful. But you only get there if you're willing to expose the truth, you know?
Yeah, you can't hide.
You can't hide.
You can't hide, as we talked about. You
can't hide in the forest,
Because a lot of people say, oh, the artists just come here to hide. And we were talking about the Jerry Brown and Linda Ronstadt. Oh, they just come here to hide.
Well, those are the people who are big wigs who really probably just want to get out of the city and hibernate. But those of us who live here, we want to hide, but we also want to create our art. So it's kind of a beautiful combination, in my opinion.
It is.
I live on 20 acres
I love
with,
it.
with my husband, and I love it here. We're 4 miles to the Yuba River, and so what could be better
Oh my gosh.
than that?
I know.
Yeah.
I love it. Karen, thank you so much for being here.
my
I really
pleasure.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
This piece will be on YouTube, and we hope to see you another time. Remember, we have artists here who are absolutely fabulous, and we really want to thank you all for tuning in. Take care, and see you next time.